There was a viral video from over the weekend where people were displaying and tossing out Nazi symbols and signs and yelling at passerbys because it's the weekend. They just want to have some fun. Let's watch.
No more Jews. You get some black power, you got white power here. White power.
You're live. 6 million viewers.
Say hi. Say hi.
White pride's when you think it. White power is when you live it. You can shove that finger up your rabbi's ass.
He's a Jew.
He's a Jew. Look at him. Guess where you're going back to?
You know how we know you're a Jew? We can tell by how close your eyes are together.
I'm gonna go tell somebody about this. Let me tell my rabbi. What are you gonna do? Let me go suck some baby penis. It's a papa. What do you say? Let me suck the blood from the baby's penis like the rabbi does. What do you say? Another satisfied customer. Come again.
After a fulfilling afternoon of tossing insults around at random people on the street, they went home and said, this was a good day. Because that's what their life is filled with. That's what their life is about, hatred. Now these look like the 7-year-old bullies from elementary school who kind of ran out of people to yell at. So now they just stand on the corner and yell at anybody that they can. Some more information about all this that was happening. So there's an agency said that its investigation into the fight between several demonstrators, because there was a couple fights that broke out as well, because they can't help themselves. And passerby is ongoing, but that no arrests were made Saturday and that the group left the area. Orange Sheriff John Mina promised to, quote, thoroughly investigate any criminal activity by the demonstrators, because I guess he has to say that, right? Even though this is pretty much normal place in American cities everywhere. So also the mayor spoke out as well of Orlando. This is down in Orlando. Anti-Semitism and hatred are not welcome in this community. Despite displays of hate in Central Florida this weekend, our collective commitment to building an inclusive, compassionate community for all is stronger than ever. Okay, so that's a statement just to say it. Why? If you're a politician and you say we're doing this to make our community stronger, I expect, at least my brain next goes, okay, I'm waiting for that next sentence. So how? What are you gonna do? And because right now I'm seeing it's not very inclusive and it's not working for everyone. Anyways, on top of that, the governor of Florida, he had things to say. Maybe Ron DeSantis is really ready to lock these guys down and make sure that he's not this kind of guy. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis did not immediately add to the bipartisan denunciations about this, and his top spokesman sparked some controversy by questioning whether the swastika-clad demonstrators were actually Nazis. Do we even know that they're Nazis? Christina Pushaw posted and she since deleted this tweet. I trust Florida law enforcement to investigate, and I'm awaiting their conclusions. Really? Do we really even know? Maybe they're just saying things on the corner, wearing Nazi symbols and flying Nazi flags and impersonating what they see as a caricature of Jewish folks for the sake of what?
Yeah, and you know what? That kind of gets me in terms of it's like, oh, so now they want to talk about qualifications? Like, okay, I see how this works. When it comes to oppressing others, that's when you want to pull up qualifications, and you're willing to question it when you have white men engaging in Nazi-like behavior. Because if it walks like a Nazi, talks like a Nazi, they're gonna need a second opinion. Like, get out of here.
It's just the way it always works. So we're not sure. I didn't know that being a Nazi, you had to go to a 4-year college, get your degree, and be like, I'm out of Nazi school. You guys gonna hire me yet? This is a professional gig or something? I don't understand how this works anymore. Again, it's avoiding the topic, and we'll go back to our history of avoiding the topic. It's why we still have these people like this here, because they know there's a certain level of support that they'll continue to enjoy. And when it comes to particular officials that will say one thing, we've seen officials and people that say, we denounce all the racism and the Nazis. Trump tried to say it once. Then after he said it, he went back to embodying everything that they stand for. So again, and one of their other excuses was that there was those protesters that outside of where Glenn Youngkin, they were trying to stand and look like they were Nazis or racists. And they were standing out in the rain, and they're saying, "What? Maybe there's some more actors like that. Maybe they're Antifa." You go back to the same well over and over and over again because your supporters will buy that. So the question just becomes: are we going to? Do we care enough Because look, this is gonna blow over. The weekend's over. People are gonna stop talking about it. Maybe they'll show up again at the next event, start some more fights, march down the street, get protected by cops whenever someone else decides to walk up and tell them, hey, you know what? That's not what we like to practice in America. That's not who we are. Since you guys talk about patriotism and not being like other people, they're worshiping Nazis, Hitler and Nazis, that American ideal. Everyone should be against this. But instead, we'll prop it up because that's what America is.
Yep, and I love this whole mentality of, are you sure that they're Nazis? It's like trying to cast that sense of doubt. And we've seen it pretty much in all uprisings of white supremacy. When we talk about the KKK wearing those ghost-like hoods, the thought that, hey, well, you saw people in hoods? That must have been a figment of your imagination. It's the same kind of thing, that gaslighting, that are you sure? And continuing to undermine as opposed to essentially saying, yes, that's exactly what these are. And this is who we are.
It's what it is. And by the way, if they had to admit it, the problem is, like before, you have to do some work. And they definitely don't want to do that work. The only thing they want to do is get reelected. And like, if Nazis reelect me, if they're supporting me, I don't care their numbers. Just the reality.